You watching Kenroy Batiste TV. Click, view, convenience around the clock.
Welcome back to another edition of Personality Grenada. In the World Health Organization survey, cancer is the 7th leading cause of death in the world. But obviously, people like our guest today, Mr. Arthur Hosten, have beaten the odds. He is a 15-year survivor of, what's the name of your cancer?
Hodgkin lymphoma.
Hodgkin lymphoma cancer. Now, Mr. Hosten, can you tell us about yourself?
Born and bred in Guelph.
Okay.
What do I do now? Happily unemployed and enjoying it.
Okay. What did you used to do before?
I used to be a disc jockey back in the days, and that's when I was diagnosed with Hodgkin. During those days, going along life happy-go-lucky, not checking on anything else.
Right.
And there appeared a lump.
And began investigating,
Yes.
as I could imagine anybody would. So can you describe this type of cancer for us?
It's a cancer of the immune system, of the lymphatic system. So for the layperson, all the glands in the body has cancer cells tearing each other. And it makes, it swells, and obviously the body has to spend time fighting.
Right, right.
And then you deteriorate, and that's it. But over the years, there has been a lot of strides in that form of cancer treatment.
Okay.
So you almost guarantee an 80% survival rate with Hodgkin lymphoma. But it's also non-Hodgkin lymphoma, which is much more aggressive than Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Okay. At what age were you diagnosed?
34.
34. And how old are you now?
Do the math.
Okay. So you're 50 years old right now. What were the events leading up to your diagnosis? I could imagine that was a traumatic time for you.
Okay, like I said, there were a lump appeared in the groin area.
Right.
And I've noticed that once I go out partying, the morning after, the swelling is much more. And it's painful.
Right.
So after a short while, but a lot of procrastination to go to the doctor, but mine don't go to doctors.
That's the next thing.
And I decided when I couldn't take more, it was a point where I wasn't able to walk properly because the pain was so much, that I went to a doctor and gave me a series of antibiotics. He said, that should take care of it.
Okay.
But I left there baffled. He doesn't know what it is, give me antibiotic. I went back in 2 weeks, I said, this is not working. I didn't take a medication. And I do a lot of times, I go to a doctor, and when they give me a prescription, I said, I'm not taking that. I don't believe in prescribing to me things that you don't investigate.
Right.
So I don't take them most times. And I went back a third time, I said, look, is there something we could do to know exactly what is there? And he said, okay, I'll pass you on to a specialist who will. So I went to another doctor, and he said, I'll put a needle in or cut you open. I said, cut me open. Man, put me to sleep and cut me open, but don't push no needle in me just so.
Right.
And we did that in April of 97.
Okay.
And went back 2 weeks after. It would have been, I think it's the 16th of April, if I recall it good. And I went to my doctor, but I had an inclination something wasn't right.
Right.
I got a call from a good friend that said to me, call a doctor. And I said, what happened? She said, call the doctor and go and see him now. But I thought that she'd have seen something, or based on her work experience, she knows something is wrong. Anyhow, I called him, I said, could I come today? He said, yeah, come. When I walked into the room, we were very jovial most times. And that day was very, very sad.
Okay, so you knew something was wrong.
And I knew something was wrong. I said, what's wrong? Cancer or AIDS, what I have?
And you got the lesser of two evils since you survived.
Well, I tell friends because live longer with AIDS than cancer. But he said to me, cancer, and the way he said it, he said, well, don't worry, we could work at it.
Okay, good.
See, quickly, although he was down, he pointed out quickly that
You can get through this.
yeah.
So what was your reaction when you heard that ultimate reaction?
I said, holy shit. That's my exact words.
Yes.
Holy shit. And he looked at me, like, he expected me to really break down.
Okay.
But I left, we spoke of a number of options. And I said to him, I have two options to work with. Go to Cuba or go to America. I cannot go to Cuba because my relatives will not be able to come and see me there. Everybody's in the United States.
Right.
So my other option is United States.
United States, so that's where you receive treatment?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Such diseases take a huge toll on the mental, the physical, the emotional, and the financial. So other than the physical, what were some of the effects of your type of cancer?
Well, as with anything else, you might try to be the bravest man in the world,
Yes.
but you're human. And I was working at the fisheries at the time, Grenada commercial fisheries, artisanal fisheries then. So I went back to work because I was home after surgery, couldn't walk properly using crutches. So I went to my job from the Grenada's office. I'm a doctor, Dr. Dominguez at the time. And I passed into my office to tell them, look, I ain't coming back.
Right.
Because in the back of my mind, in those days, cancer is really a death sentence. However, it didn't bother me about death yet.
Okay.
But I said to them, I'm going overseas, I know if I come back. And everybody started crying. And for the first time, I became overwhelmed. And
The reality of it
yeah,
began to sink
because
in.
all my coworkers was crying.
Okay.
I was the life of the staff. I mean, I walked in there and I crack a joke, I do something funny, or I cook food. They say no drinking on the job, I'll bring in alcohol on the job, you know. So I started making preparations to go, but it was more, it was a roller coaster. Breaking the news and it started spreading fast.
Oh, obviously, since you were so popular.
Yeah. Arthur has cancer and he's dying. And the biggest joke of the whole thing is a friend, Larry. On my second week in bed, friends come and look for me every night. Larry Noel, that's Lord Noel's son,
Okay.
one of my inner circle. He called me on the phone. Those days, cell phone wasn't
Wasn't so popular.
I don't think he had cell phone around in Grenada. It was the big ones working in town. Called, DJ, what you doing? I said, Larry, come on, you know I can't walk. Where am I going?
Yeah.
You should not go anywhere. I said, I'm home. He said, I'm coming. Larry called all my friends. And he had a Stella car, Hyundai Stella. Zoom! And he pulled his brakes hard. So I went in his bed, I was living in a boathouse at the time, so I eased up. And I had the door open, close. Larry runs in everything he does. He's younger then, can't do it now. He ran into the house and ran back out, into the car, into the house, a third time. So by that time, I'm trying to come off the bed.
To see what's happening.
And I'm forcing because the stitches are busting away now. Because I'm moving too much. And the friends are coming. And Larry came out, DJ, if you go there, go into the bang. We don't go inside. And there were a pot of rice and peas.
Yeah.
There were, well, he loves stewed turkey wings.
Okay.
Turkey wings and vodka and Bacardi and yes. And we had a time.
Okay, so I could tell that your friends were very supportive.
Yeah. And we sat down there and like talking about life and they're like, you're dead man, good die young, young die now.
Because you knew from your life experiences you didn't have any regrets.
None whatsoever. None whatsoever. It's been a good life so far.
So even if you were to die at that
If I was supposed to die at the time, I had no regrets. I was prepared to die. I could tell a friend, I give you a story where somebody came to pray for me.
Right.
And I said, look, when I was walking around strong and healthy, I didn't bother with God. And I don't prepare to go and make him associate my account now. He ain't stupid.
Yeah.
And don't go
I
and
understand.
bamboozle God this last minute. Just forget it, you know. And they were like, you want to go to hell? I said, if that's like walking with a big smile on my face.
Yes.
If what I work for, come on, because. But death, I'm not frightened of death. The leading cause of death is not cancer, not AIDS, not diabetes, not what we think. The leading cause of death is life. You're born, you're living to death.
Exactly.
So when it comes, yeah, prepare. Don't bother about it.
Exactly. So do you think you had the right mentality? Do you think
Of course.
your mentality helped you through it?
Well, if I didn't have that mindset, I'd be a dead man right now.
Right, because 95% of any disease is mental.
Yeah, the way you treat with it is the way you deal with the entire disease. Your mindset has to be the best. You have to think positive, and it brings a positive energy to you.
Right. So what do you think is a worse mentality to have?
Well, people sit and moan and groan, who have cancer, I go dead. You go dead anyhow.
Yeah.
Cancer may not kill you.
Right.
Diabetes or high blood pressure or something, or stroke will kill you. So why bother with cancer? Treat cancer as anything else and deal with it. If the body succumbs to it, well, that's it. They didn't come here to live forever.
Yeah.
But don't make it worry you.
Exactly.
Follow your doctor's order, think, meditate, and be positive.
Right. So if it comes back, what would you do? Would you consider treatments? Would you?
I'll try and do the same. I have a lovely granddaughter who I want to see grow up. I don't think I'm a grandchildren anyhow. But I have a son, a lovely family. But my son, who has been there with me through that ordeal, and that took a toll on him.
I could imagine.
And I now have a granddaughter, 7 months old. I'm looking forward to seeing her and recognizing me and happy.
So you do whatever you can just to make sure that she knows granddaddy.
Yeah.
As anybody
Because she
would.
will hear stories afterwards. She will hear stories later on, but I wanted people to say I knew him.
All right, so we're going to have a short break, and then we'll be back with Mr. Arthur Hosten, Personality Grenada.
You watching Kenroy Batiste TV. Click, view, convenience around the clock.
Welcome back to Personality Grenada. We're here in studio with Mr. Arthur Hosten, who was just telling us about his roller coaster ride with cancer. And we're here with the next question. Did you belong to a particular faith when you were diagnosed?
No, well, as most people, I was christened at the Roman Catholic Church and been an alcoholic growing up, and then I abandoned the church.
Oh, so do you feel that cancer brought you closer to God?
Well, yes and no, because I become a little bit more spiritual, a little more mellow in a lot of things I used to do. But I still don't go to church, except at funerals. But I don't really practice organized religion. Okay. But I see nothing wrong with it. It's just that I don't go into the congregation. If any church asks me to do anything for them, I'll do it. Without even skipping a beat. I tell people every day, one of the best magazines to read is Jehovah's Witness Watchtower.
Right.
I mean, sorry, Awake. Not Watchtower, Awake is the best magazine. So, but I'm not into religion, no. But I do have a relationship with God. Okay. I do pray a lot. I do meditate. And thankful for being alive and seeing another day.
That again adds to the good mentality that keeps you healthy. So, if the cancer comes back and you hear that your son has it, what would be your first step?
Oh boy, that would be devastating to me. I worry every day about that. But I think we have a family structure that is great. I mean, people envy to be in my circle because my sisters and brothers who all live overseas call me every week to make sure I'm okay. Right. And my son is the apple of the eye, so the same thing will happen. Okay. But anything comes, you deal with it. You deal with it. You don't make it an issue.
Okay. Well, to your knowledge, what are the most advanced treatments for your type of cancer?
There is the option of chemotherapy, which I would not recommend.
Why won't you recommend?
I did radiation because I I got good advice from 3 senior persons, oncologists, who I went to counsel. But my rock is here, Dr. Macaulay. He's residing here now. And he was the one that said to me, go this way, go that way. And I really trust him. And I choose radiation because although I'm living now with lots of side effects,
Yes.
damage liver damage, heart damage, spleen, I mean, everything got radiation. It is still the lesser of the 2 evils existed. Homeotherapy, you could try some of it, but you have to use modern medicine to help you along the way. So the linear accelerated radiation, pinpoint accuracy of burning the cells,
Okay.
I think is safe, personally.
So homeotherapy, what is it?
That is using herbs and
Okay.
stuff like that. My problem with this treatment is that the dosage is not always consistent.
Okay.
It's some of this, some of that. Whereas some of the conventional medical ones could be damaging to you. You could also do a lot of damage to yourself with the local remedies.
side effects
So you
as well.
use local stuff as much as possible. But in my case, I blend it with the science.
Okay, so do you think that your type of cancer could have been avoided by a healthier diet, less drinking, eating more vegetables and fruits? Could it have been avoided?
From
that
what I
way?
was told, no. Cancer comes. I've known healthy people to very healthy, do eat meat, eat a good veg diet, and come with cancer. So I think it's predisposition. In some cases, there are environmental factors, but it varies.
Okay, but I know there are a lot of myths out there about not eating processed foods and having soursop and that cures the cancer. What do you think about those?
I don't believe there's or something. You have to prove it to me. You read things off the internet. People post things on the internet
Always.
that says all this, but when I do my own research, it doesn't show up. I think the processed foods has
Does
a major
contribute,
part
okay.
because look at our grandparents.
They ate a lot of the grown provision and
And
drank fresh water. And
Cancer was an unheard of things in those days.
Yeah.
Now, I do obituaries online on my website. And every day I'm looking at the age group and the person I have. Sometimes I know what I die from. And it's cancer, 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 old age.
Right.
Diabetes, cancer, 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 cancer. So it tells us something is going wrong with our foods.
Yes.
Or
And
the
our
water we're
lifestyle.
drinking because studies are showing now that the chlorine in our water is killing us.
Right.
That we need to alkaline the body, and by doing that, we drink water that is not full of chlorine. So there are lots of things that's coming out.
I could imagine because our lifestyle has greatly changed from before.
We move from running fast to the land to fast food.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of speculation out there that there are doctors that have found the cure, but they're not releasing it to the public.
I believe that. There are things that we could use naturally to prevent a lot of diseases. A healthy lifestyle, because I think what we should promote now is healthy living.
Right.
Like I say, you were dead anyhow. You'll die healthy. But the aches and pains of dying will be minimized because whatever you do, the diseases is lifestyle disease,
Right.
diabetes, stroke. It's the things we eat and do that's killing us,
So it's a matter of us living a healthier
Healthier
lifestyle
lifestyle.
to live a longer life,
of course.
basically. So are you a member of the Cancer Association?
I used to be, but I'm kind of doing my own thing, relaxing, and I have my own projects working on.
Okay.
But what I do for people, lots of folks call me.
Right.
They've
So
been diagnosed
you
with
provide
cancer.
your own counseling.
I do a lot of counseling to
Okay.
people. They call me any hour of the night, and I get up and talk to them because I know how it felt
Right.
hearing that news.
Yeah.
And lots of people want to make good decisions.
But they don't know where to start.
They don't know
where
to start.
go.
So they
Right.
call me and I give them my story. Actually, I'm doing a book.
Okay.
It's just I'm lazy to finish it.
What's the title of it, if we can hear the title?
I have a number of them, but I think it might be My Journey,
Okay.
the cancer story, something like that.
Right.
Because it's still a journey and a work in progress. I'm still looking. Not that I'm frightened, but when I go to the bathroom, I check for lumps.
As you should.
Yeah, I do. I'm my own doctor. I do my own diagnosis, so I do my daily checks.
Okay, and that's important for anybody who has cancer in their family or who has been diagnosed and come through it. You have to be responsible with your body. You can't just let everything run to the dogs.
But people need to know that part of the regime is to see a doctor.
Right.
You cannot diagnose yourself. The internet will not help you diagnose yourself.
Exactly.
You need an expert.
Exactly.
I know my body, so I take a chance and I do some research, but then I go to an expert.
As you should.
I don't wait to think, oh, the internet said this, do that. No, that's a wrong approach. You need to see a doctor at least once a year. I try to do it 3 times a year based on my condition.
Right.
I want to be one step ahead to deal with whatever coming. But people need to take stock of themselves and be on top of their health. Check a doctor regularly. Cancer has some telltale signs. Sweating, night sweating, sorry. A lump, a bump, a rash, or unexplained rash, difference in bowel movements, loss of weight.
And these are things that you can notice on your own.
Once this thing happening,
you have to go to the doctor. So what more do you think can be done in Grenada to support cancer victims?
Well, first of all, we need a better cancer program. We don't have, I think they are non-existent.
Right.
Persons have been diagnosed in Grenada, and we have to do a motorcade. It's embarrassing to be diagnosed.
We have to take steps before people get diagnosed and then help them through it. We can't wait until it gets into stage 2 and stage 3.
I had stage 3 cancer.
Right, wow.
And I was lucky. It was below and above the diaphragm, which was frightening to the doctors.
Right.
But I keep saying to them, do what you have to do. Don't bother with me. Don't, whatever could happen. Do what you have to do. Because they always come back to you. Sign this. I say, just bring the thing I'm sign. You know, but this is what it is, you know, life. Yeah, check on it.
So do you think your life has returned to normal ever since you got cured?
I don't be a normalcy. A little bit more careful.
Right.
I don't drink as much as before. I still drink. But a lot of the things I put my body through then,
you
I don't do it now.
Responsible now.
Yeah. And I rest it a lot. Because the body needs to rest and repair itself. The body only repairs itself when it's resting. So I try and do that. Some of the things I started to do, like exercising, I don't. I have to go back on that regimen. I'm not making a New Year's resolution. I do it when I feel like doing it. And trying to stay healthy, try and eat healthy. Well, I'm giving some food these days, other choice. The wife prepare anything, what she give me to eat, I eat, and she's very health conscious. So, I follow whatever plan she goes with.
Okay. So do you think your ambitions have changed? I know many people, after they come through an ordeal such as yours, they become more adventurous. They want to see the world, do things. How has cancer affected you in that way?
I think it made me a little more compassionate. Like I've been very crass before, very rough on people. I tell my friends I like to make one enemy per day. You know?
But that has changed now?
Kind of. But I'm softening a bit. I try to deal with people better. I try to help as much as I could in whatever way I could. So I think it made me a different person.
Okay. And what?
I stop and I look at things, but I live life. So like I tell people when I have my obituary done, my obituary is already done and on my computer. Print and give it to Lacqua. My coffin is picked.
So everything's planned
My celebration is done, no church, no hymns. Bring me in the park and go over, have a celebration. And the last jump up.
Okay. So you intend to live life until it's over?
Yeah.
Definitely. So what are your ambitions now for the future?
Just want to live a good life. Like I said, my granddaughter is there. You see her grow up. If that's in my design plan, and enjoy things as it comes along. Live it one day at a time.
Exactly, and that's the mentality of a survivor and of anybody who's diagnosed with any terminal illness. It does not define you, you define it. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Personality Grenada. Join us again next week. My name is Davina Bruno. Thank you very much, Mr. Arthur Hosten.